Hi folks, welcome back to the Nest. Viper here. Wars of the World Series 1, 7 Years War. Coming straight to you, here comes Nato with another round.
Hello everybody, this is Nato at the Nest, and this is the second half of the 1758 turn of the 7 Years' War. And England, its only offensive action was in North America. England managed to take the Midwest from France, and that actually was the only offensive action for England. Is in Europe, England just dumped more troops into West Germany and East Prussia and sent two transports to North America, and is continuing to send frigates and transports to India to get ready for when Spain joins the war, to get ready for the invasion of the Philippines, since how England has finally locked India down. Prussia, it just moved everything east and to establish a defensive line to counter Russia, and probably from now on the main focus is going to be on Europe, as you can see just by the size of forces in North America compared to Europe. North America is a little more in a sideshow now, and historically that was pretty true for actual history, as while it was treated as important by both England and France, both nations only sent a fraction of their total forces to fight North America. The sizes of the battles, the largest battles in North America could be considered a little more than skirmishes compared to the massive battles that went on in Europe, and I think it's been reflected in the game quite nicely. As you can see, there's just a handful of units in North America. But then when you come over and look at Europe, there's just massive armies on the field, and that historically that was true too. Whereas, the largest battles in North America altogether didn't have more than 6,000 troops, whereas the battles in Europe, the casualties for one army would be over 10,000 for a single day of fighting in Europe. And as altogether, you'd see battles had 20-30,000 casualties, and you had armies in the field that were 70, 80, 90, 100,000 plus armies rampaging across Europe. And so France, it attacked Western Germany, but once again failed to push the British out. Its one success, however, was France managed to lift the siege of Ottawa, for now at least. England still has some powerful units, and that army in the Midwest, plus its cavalry units on the coast. Russia, it made 3 attacks. It made an attack at East Prussia, Stettin, and the Sudetenland. East Prussia was inconclusive. Minor losses on both sides. They did contest the zone, so it does hurt Prussian production slightly. The attack on Stettin was a complete disaster. The Prussian forces completely wiped out the attacking Russian forces. And the Sudetenland was similar to East Prussia. as the losses were relatively equal on both sides. And it looks like the British and Prussian strategy of hammering France and Austria and reducing them so they can focus their main effort against Russia has worked and is paying off. Although that might change when Sweden gets there, because that's a fairly powerful army that Sweden's going to throw straight into East Prussia, so we'll see if that's enough to tip the tide of the war. Let's see, Spain and Portugal haven't done anything. There's really not much they can do other than just sit and wait for when they enter. And so that's about it for the turn and for the year. Strategic situation hasn't changed all that much, therefore the strategy hasn't really changed too much. So we'll continue with the next turn with 1759 and see what happens there. Thanks for watching. See you next turn and next year.
Hi guys, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. Nate will be right back with the second half of that round.
Hello everybody, this is Nato at the Nest, and this is the first half of 1759 of the 7 Years' War. Now this will be a pretty quick video because this was a pretty quiet turn. There's only 2 battles. Out of all the warring nations, there was only 2 battles. So most of it was just people or nations maneuvering and reinforcing certain sectors to gear up for later attacks. So this will be really quick and really simple. So starting with England. England has begun massing for a second attack on Ottawa, moved those forces up from the Midwest and got things in position. Its transports are now consolidated off New York. Then in Europe, England reinforced West Germany, and in Asia, England has reinforced its Asian squadron with another frigate in preparation for the eventual War of Spain. The transport is continuing to head towards India. And that was it for England. Prussia made one of the 2 attacks. Prussia attacked the Sudetenland and was able to whittle it down to 1 apiece in terms of infantry, cavalry, and cannon. That second cavalry was a reinforcement by Russia in its later turn. And other than that, Prussia just strengthened Stettin and East Prussia with a militia. And France made the second of the 2 attacks this turn and attacked West Germany. And it was a pretty big tactical victory for France. England inflicted 2 casualties on France, but France in return inflicted 5 casualties on England. Unfortunately, England still controls West Germany, but tactically it was a victory for France, something France hasn't seen in a while, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on which side of the fence you're on. Let's see, Russia didn't make any attacks this turn. It said earlier, it reinforced its forces in the Sudetenland and consolidated forces in northeastern Poland. That's not the territory's name, but it's buried, and I don't remember what it is. So, for the sake, northeastern Poland, right there. And moved other remaining forces, just moved them west. Russia didn't attack East Prussia, decided it would be better off to hold off and wait for Sweden to arrive. And once Sweden arrives, they'll do kind of a joint attack on East Prussia and hopefully overwhelm the British and Prussian forces there, or at least reduce them significantly enough to warrant future offensives. And like I mentioned, Sweden continued moving towards East Prussia, and as always, Spain and Portugal sat and did nothing, because it is still a year and a half, almost 2 years before they enter. It's first half of 59. They don't enter until first half of 62, so still got a year or two before they get involved. And that was the term. Like I said, short and simple. So we'll be back with the second half of 1759. Thanks for watching. Hello everybody, it's Nato at the Nest at the second half of 1759 of the 7 Years' War, and so it'll probably be another quick one. The attacks are rather limited as England and Prussia are becoming just too strong to attack, except in very specific sectors. So moving on with England. One attack for the turn was it reinstituted the siege of Ottawa, but France has been able to build up a fairly decent sized force there, so assuming France doesn't just get absolutely diced, that siege will go on for quite a while. Other than that, England just reinforced Western Germany and East Prussia, and transport is continuing to head towards India. Prussia has managed to push Russia completely out of the Sudetenland, and then it just reinforced Stettin and has built a very solid defensive line at Stettin. Likelihood of Russia breaking through that anytime soon is almost zero. France's one attack was in Western Germany again, and was able to inflict some pretty decent losses on England. I think it was a 2-to-1 kill ratio in France's favor. But that was all of France's attack. So as you can see, that's its new build. France's production has been reduced to 8, so France can't continue these kinds of losses for much longer. Russia once again didn't make any attacks. All it's done is reinforced its front line as much as possible. They kind of got a long ways to go, and that's one reason why Prussia could have extended its defensive line out to Poland, but instead Prussia built its defensive line at Stettin because its lines of reinforcements are one territory away, so Prussia can rapidly reinforce anywhere on its front line because it's built its defensive line close to its factories. Russia has to march all the way across Poland just to get to the front line, so their reinforcement line and their lines of communication are very long and very lengthy and very extended. So Prussia can replace losses 3 times faster than Russia can. So Prussia staying close to home was actually a very smart move, rather than trying to fight Russia in anywhere in Poland, because that would lengthen Prussia's supply lines and do nothing but help Russia. Sweden is still marching towards the front line, and they should be able to make first contact in 2 turns. Portugal and Spain still just sitting tight because they're not in it yet. And that was it for 17 for the turn, and that's it for 1759. Next turn is a new year, and we'll see what happens there. Thanks for watching.
Hey guys, hope you really liked that. A couple of credits to throw out there. Merchants and Marauders from Z-Man Games, Risk from Parker Brothers, Axis and Allies of 1914 by Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, and of course, historicalboardgaming.com. Thank you, Nato, for narrating the videos. And don't forget to subscribe. And if you like what we're doing, get a squat on that like button. We also want to hear your opinions. Keep in mind that we are developing this game as we go along. So if you have any opinions, you have any comments, go ahead and shoot those below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Appreciate it, guys. Viper here, Viper out. Thanks for watching The Nest.